Alright, so we're reacting to a video called Could Wilt Chamberlain Have Dominated Shaq? Now, before we click play, I want to know your opinion. Do you think Wilt would have dominated Shaq? Do you think Shaq was a better player? Do you think Wilt was a better player? Why? Like, what specifically, in your opinion, makes one better than the other? Right? Also, I have my own opinion, and it's very thorough, and I'll share it at the end. But I'm excited to see this video just to see where it comes out. Before we click play, I would really appreciate if you guys subscribed and liked. And also, I worked on my audio, so the audio clips like won't overlap, which means whenever it won't be too loud. So I figured that out finally. So I'm excited. That being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's just click play now.
Shaquille for real.
That's a rare clip, by the way. I've never seen that.
Being heralded as one of the top centers in the universe.
No man has come in with the fanfare this guy has. Just clean.
That's an extremely rare video. My goodness.
When I first came into the league, I did a Reebok commercial. I brought him.
Wow. Wait a minute. Look at this. This is one of the things that I tell people where you have to do research. See, a lot of the huge misinformation is that Shaq was bigger than Wilt. Wilt, as you can see, is clearly bigger than Shaq. He has broader shoulders. He has even higher shoulders. He had a lot of, like, his height really wasn't his shoulders. He had like a short neck for some reason. Kareem had a long neck, which is why he's taller, but that's just a little quick observation. But again, Wilt is significantly taller than Shaq. Significantly bigger. I mean, you can look at him right away. His skeletal build by a mile. I mean, it's clear that Wilt was a wider build. Like, his build was wider. Also Bill Russell, Bill Walton, both taller than you would think. But
Russell, Bill Walton, and Kareem.
Talk to me about the interaction you had with Shaquille that day and what you learned about him.
They didn't call me zone defensive back when I was playing. Remember, they had 5 guys around me, but plus the 2 referees were punching me all at the same time.
That's sad, though.
See, they won't be able to do that.
That is a big difference, by the way.
Very young.
His own.
And I don't think that he has maybe a sense of, of what he's all about yet and what we were all about.
I wonder what they were talking there.
It's bad news for a lot of young people. But what was he doing when he was in high school? I mean, who was he looking up to? Maybe Dr. J?
Julius Erving is the reason why.
It's so funny to me that he nailed it.
And they don't really know what certain people have done in the sport.
That's true. I like that Wilt said that. Ooh.
People are talking about comparing him to you already. I mean, when you hear something like that, what's your reaction?
He said, sweep this floor, bum.
I think that the parallels between Shaquille and myself are probably a little closer than they are with some of the other centers.
I was going after one guy, Wilt Chamberlain. We wanted to break all his records.
The man has a lot of agility, a lot of mobility, and he is sort of a hostile type of player.
That's true. Look at him. Look at him. Ooh, smacking someone in the face like that is crazy.
Little foul trouble as possible. It doesn't mean he's not aggressive, but he has to be very, very smart.
The more physical I became,
Yeah, that Wilt dude was smart.
I've seen all the other centers do this.
Shaquille O'Neal has earned $100 million in and out of the sport.
Look at his face, man.
Never won a
Look at his face.
playoff game. What do you say?
I say that he is a genius.
Bro, that's a lot of money. Even then, even now, that's a lot of money. But like now, they're making $300 million. Boom, beautiful dunk. Definitely power.
Did you see the game, bro? We see everything. Get in here.
Court is now in session.
By the way, if anybody knows where that commercial's from, the Judge Chamberlain one, let me know. Also, I wonder, because I know Wilt's opinions of Shaq seem pretty negative, but like, I really wonder what he would have thought of Shaq after 2000, because he died before Shaq peaked, which is a very weird thing, right? So they obviously had conversations, and Wilt was very critical of him. I don't think Shaq liked it, but the funniest thing is Shaq is very critical of everybody, no matter what. Like, he's not just critical of the best players, he's critical of the ones that make a lot of money or whatever, right? Which is similar to Wilt, but different, just because I guess, like, Shaq doesn't, I don't know, but it just seems a little weird to me.
Shaquille and I is like comparing me with Clark Gable. In this
wonder
case,
what his
I'm Clark
medallion
Gable,
said.
and he's me. He's a big, strong,
He's like
powerful guy
Philadelphia,
who
though.
runs over top of people.
Boom.
He could be taught to play a whole lot better.
I wonder
I
how.
want to see what his shooting game is like, though, by myself. I've seen him dunk a lot of balls down, but can he maneuver and really get shots free when he's going up by 2 men?
All right, quick question. and this is another question for y'all in the comments. Do you think if Shaq could shoot the fadeaway, right? I'm not saying Wilt like fadeaway because that's way too much, but if he could shoot the fadeaway with consistency, do you think that would make him a better player? I guess if he had a fadeaway, he would be more skilled. So, but I wonder, do you think that would actually make him better? That's what I'm curious about.
He seems to have problems in the last quarter.
That's
I would
true.
make him have to run up and down the court.
Look at Wilt's nod. My goodness.
I would like, though,
Look at this freak athlete, bro. I love this dunk right here. When he
always like the
hooks
big
it.
guys.
Any pro
He's big too.
worth
He
his
looks massive.
teeth is going to be gunning for the Shaq.
He plays an entirely different type of basketball game. He uses his physicality, and he's a big, strong young man, and that works well in today's game. If he was facing
That dude is massive. I mean, you can tell right away. I think that's Laker Wilt because of the color behind him and the look. That's the Laker Wilt look. But I mean, if you look at his shoulders, that dude was like 325, 30 pounds, and it looks like he has no fat on him. That is kind of scary, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. That is pretty scary.
me, not so good. I mean, I'm a guy bench pressing around 600 pounds when I was at my best.
600 pounds?
Yeah, right.
600 pounds.
I think you're exaggerating. You're out of your mind.
Also, I know a lot of people don't believe that, but man, he said that was so seriously. Like he didn't hesitate. He just said it, like he meant it. You know what I mean? That's hard to that. He said that with a lot of confidence.
There's a thing called innate strength.
Strength within.
That's strength from within.
That's a crazy edit. You see that edit with the lightning? Shout out to Fubu's point, man. That's funny.
Shaquille O'Neal.
He shook his arm. Look at his arm, bro. Look at his arm. Look at his,
He would do.
that looked like he was trying to hurt him, man. I wonder if Shaq had a bad game that game. I actually looked that up.
The big guys, the strongest guys,
Tricep
would
extensions.
do, let's say, 120 pounds, let's say, tricep extension, putting down, right?
This is
He would
Arnold.
come and he would do 150, 170 pounds with Chamberlain. That's how strong he
That's
was.
between 30 and
I
50
always
pounds
felt
more
that
than the
when
big
people
guys.
say, well, this guy is shooting more baskets than anyone else. I said, well, because you stay away from him. He was so powerful with his elbows and everything.
It's kind of scary to think about.
When he saw that,
You know what?
where to put the ball, you wouldn't want to be in his way.
That strength probably helped him with his
dangerous.
balance.
They always said he
A
was
lot.
by far the strongest person.
I feel like the only way you knocked him off balance is if you
I
like
remember
put your
that
foot in the
he
right
would
place
have
where it,
one arm with
tripped him up.
It's not possible for any human being to do the kinds of things.
That's a crazy clip right there. I've seen that before. But before I continue, what I was saying with Wilt's balance was probably really good because of his strength. I think Wemby's a perfect example where he's really tall, has incredible length, and he tries to post up, but he still doesn't have the strength to keep players from like getting him off balance, which is why his efficiency and his control in the game or in the post is not as great as it will be when he gets stronger. So that's something that I've always found very interesting. So the fact that this dude had it right away is pretty telling.
Things that he was able to do.
Ridiculous. Look at this freak athlete.
I think to this day people don't believe it.
Super speed. That
But
man, he was
He
fast.
wasn't at the top of the circle, but he was about 3 steps behind it.
He was fast, man.
On a free throw,
And this
he
ain't
ran to the free throw line,
high jump.
took off, and
Same
dunked the
clip
ball.
from a different angle.
And I actually saw this.
That's funny. That's in a movie scene too. Wait, now it's gonna go to Shaq, so I'm excited for this. But interesting enough about Wilt's athleticism, maybe I can find the clip and I'll play it for you guys. But that's like all those clips are not even the most impressive. The most impressive clip I've ever seen is where his head and shoulders are literally above the rim, and I'm just like, whoa, like this dude could jump very high. You know what I mean? So that's something that Wilt definitely has over Shaq that nobody would deny. Like, it's ridiculous. Also, Shaq right here, you can tell he definitely added a lot of weight here, you know. So this is Laker Shaq. This is probably 2000, you know.
How would you defend
Or
against
99.
yourself? I wouldn't. I would just go home.
That's funny. That's true. You know.
I would fake an injury or something.
Well, you're not a very nice guy.
I tell you what, I was a very nice guy.
You were.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was too nice. I have some close friends of mine who told me a number of times, Wilt, go up there and break Bill Russell's hand. You know, stop being so nice to these guys. You can destroy them.
Wait, you're telling me he hurt Bill Russell? I don't know why I never put that. I've seen this before, but I never put it together. You're telling me he hurt Bill Russell here? where he blocked it and he still forced it through. That hurt Bill Russell.
Stop being so nice to these guys.
That's crazy.
You can destroy them. And because I was maybe a nice guy, I shot the fadeaway and didn't do some of the things that like Shaquille O'Neal's now doing.
I wonder, I'm surprised he like came to that conclusion. Like, he was honest enough to say, yeah, maybe you're right.
Going with Shaq and threw the ball on his.
That's crazy to think about.
He was upset. He thought Shaq pushed him after the play and knocked him down.
100% pushed him, man. That's a push.
They call fouls though today, you know, Shaq gets away with what I would consider murder.
So they let him go.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that when you dip your shoulder and you're whatever type of guy and the foul's called on the guy laying on the floor, you know, you're getting away with something.
I can't tell you how many times I watched him go up for a dunk.
I was peak low, too.
And someone would put their hand within the cylinder trying to block a shot, and Wilt would let up because he knew he could break the man's arm. He was too nice a man.
If you look at his records and the records that he set, I always thought it was like watching him in slow motion. I thought he could have even done more.
I wonder how effective that finger roll would be.
Man in the league, and that you.
I think it would be pretty effective just because of the threat that Wilt Chamberlain
killer
was.
instinct. I don't mean that competitively, but I mean you could have hurt guys. You could have slammed guys to the floor.
Wait, I like how the guy said, I don't mean that competitively, but I mean like hurting people. Maybe this whole time that's what people mean by like Wilt doesn't have killer instinct. Because I never understood like competitive wise. Like I was like, man, I don't even know if that's a word, but like competition wise, like this dude played through some weird circumstances where you're like, no, he really cared about winning. So he was very competitive. So he did have that killer instinct in that sense. But I'm surprised that that guy like clarified it perfectly.
You could have looked to pick fights. You didn't do that.
That was one of the saving things about playing against the guy who did physically imposing, is that I cannot recall even hearing about anything where he tried to hurt anybody. And so
I've seen some clips of Will and Bill Russell squaring up. Not even gonna lie. Let me try to post them. I'm gonna try to put them on, man. I'm gonna show y'all. Unless the person shows you, but they really squared up, man.
Well, you know,
that's good and bad.
You can rack him up, and then you know that he's not going to really hurt you.
Did you need more killer instinct?
Well, you know, it could be said. It could be said. But also remember, when you're my size, I want to also show them I was skillful. I wasn't out there to really try to show that I could just knock people over and whatever.
I mean, you did have skill.
You didn't want to just play into the image of brute strength.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I want to play basketball as the way Jay Naismith really invented the game to be played.
Actually,
better. Absolutely better. My goodness.
I saw him one
They
time
look like candy workers trying to put baskets in a trash can.
I'm here. Wilt's right there. No hi, no you suck, no anything.
Didn't acknowledge you at all.
No, it's a pecking order thing.
Man,
thing.
he little man Shaq.
Said, okay, he don't know who I am yet.
Shaq looked back, man. Shaq looked back at him like, this dude is strong.
It's a respect thing.
Look at him. Look at his eye. He went, huh? He went, huh?
Okay, he don't know who I am.
He said, huh?
The greats don't recognize me yet. I must not be great. And if you don't think I'm great, I got work to do.
Wait, before we continue, that's probably why Shaq is very critical of modern day players. I don't know if I said that before, but like, that's probably why. Like, where he puts the expectation the same way that Wilt and Kareem and some of those greats put on him.
Superstar who dominated basketball in the 1960s and 70s was found dead today at his home in Los Angeles. Chamberlain was 63.
4 games into the season, Shaq's coming off the floor, and I stop him before he gets to the bench. I said, what's the greatest thing Wilt Chamberlain ever did?
Wilt averaged 50 in one season. He did. He averaged 50 in one season.
No, that's not it. What'd he do? He played every single minute of every game during the course of the season. I said, could you do that?
That's a very genuine reaction. John Sally said, wow. You know why he said it like that, though? Because he's played in the NBA. So he, like, it instantly reminded him of what his body felt like after playing long games. Like, that's a very impressive accomplishment. It's not Arab-based, by the way, because nobody else did it. So it's just like, wow.
He said, oh, if he could do that, I could do that. So I started playing him 48 minutes a night. 7 or 8 games into this, John Sally says, Shaq came to me and he said, maybe you could rest him a little bit tonight. So I started to monitor his minutes a little bit, but that was the year Shaq was an MVP and he had 30 points a game and he really led us.
That's probably why he played very well that year.
His MVP year in 2000, look at this. He led the league in scoring with 30. He led the league in rebounding with 14. He also chipped in with 4 assists a game, which was his career high. He also led the league by making 57% of his shots unguardable. That's just like 2.
Isn't it weird that, like, even in the 90s, like 57, 58% from the floor was enough to lead the league? But now it's like you have so many like role players who all they do is roll and catch dunks that are easy because, again, the NBA doesn't allow players to defend. So they shoot like 68, 70%. Isn't that insane? Like, wow. Because Wilt was leading the league in efficiency, shooting 54, 55, 56, 57% as well. But so was Shaq 30 years later, which is something weird to think about.
Too good, and that was the only MVP one. But you want to talk about agile at 330? I think Shaq would have terrorized Wilt. I do.
All right, Skip, you need to chill out, man. Because agile at 330, Wilt was 330 in some years of his career, like 1964, and he was even more agile. You know, because that natural athletic gift, that you can't take that away. Like, same reason Shaq, yeah, he didn't take care of himself, but he still had that physical athleticism that came naturally to him. So it's kind of hard to deal with a guy that size.
When it comes to basketball conversations, I'm very arrogant. I only want to hear my name. So when they say who's the most dominant player ever, I want them to say my name. I don't want them to be like, maybe Wilt, maybe Shaq. So,
does that really bother you?
Yeah, it does. You better than Wilt? Yeah, I'm better than Wilt. I'll bust Wilt ass.
Oh, that's why they made that video. I remember now. When Shaq said that, so many videos came out, and I think this was one of them.
We got next.
4, 85, 81.
I like how they're different types of dunks, though. Like, where you can tell the era difference. Look at this. This is that era dunk where David Robinson jumped with Shaq and got dunked on bad. That was a bad decision, David. But here, I think Wes Unseld is like, I don't know about it, but he gets in the way just a little.
81.
Turns his back, doesn't jump it.
Malone trying to get it to O'Neal, who gets it back.
Great timing.
All right, Wilt Chamberlain.
Wait.
Malone
Oh, it's out, man.
O'Neal, who gets it back.
All right, Wilt Chamberlain. Surprise.
Muhammad Ali and Shaq.
I'd accept your
Muhammad Ali and Wilt. That size difference is crazy.
I felt as if I had the properties to do well in the boxing game.
He was throwing punches with force. I felt that he has that stinging jab, and he's such an athlete. Incredible.
You could have been the best decathlete in the world.
I think I had the ingredients. I think I had the properties.
So much confidence.
Words like most dominant, you gotta earn that.
Wilt owns over 90 records, and he hasn't played in the last 40 years.
That's crazy. He could still dunk at 56.
Wilt owns.
I mean, I guess it's not that crazy just because he's pretty tall.
90 records.
But like he died at 63, so 56 would have been what, 92? I think so.
And he hasn't played in the last 40 years.
That's a way to end it right there. Wow. I mean, there's a lot of things that we could discuss about the video. I think a lot of points were brought up. I feel like when you compare them as individual players, the era differences is probably the biggest difference between them, or the way they played, because Wilt was not allowed to play like Shaq did, which is funny because I don't even, like, there's times where it seems like he forgets, where he's like, man, maybe I could have just done that. But, like, no, you weren't allowed, Wilt. Like they called offensive fouls on everything. You know what I mean? So that's that. But another thing I want to point out is that Wilt and Shaq, like, if they played against each other, Wilt has more ability or a greater skill set than Shaq in terms of the game of basketball. Wilt's a great defender and a great rebounder. Now, Shaq could rebound and he could defend. I think at his peak, he was a very good shot blocker. You know what I mean? I think he led the league in blocks, 1 year. Maybe 2 years. But, I think that's probably the big difference, or the athleticism, the conditioning, the rebounding, and the defense is what gives Wilt the edge to me. Because offensively, Shaq is special too. You know what I mean? His ability to really disrupt offensive or the defensive game of other teams just by posting up is insane. Now I think if you put Wilt in the same situation, it would be the same. Which is why I disagree with people who just go, well, Shaq, peak offensively is better, but I don't think you can compare them through era in that sense. Which I guess would also apply on defense, so it's kind of counter to everything. But to be honest with you, I just think Wilt's edge on rebounding from what we know in defense is what separates them. But quite an interesting video. You know, I used to be much lower on Shaq, but now I'm starting to think that Shaq definitely could play in other eras. I just think it would take some time to adjust because he doesn't, like, his game doesn't translate as easily just because of the way he played specifically. But I think he would just figure out how to, like, you know, get inside the paint without dipping his shoulder and running over people. So, you know, it's not that complicated. But one thing I would say is I wish Shaq would have stayed, like, lean his whole career, you know, and just focus on defense. I think he would be in the conversation for GOAT, in my opinion, if he would have done that. But I'm actually very just curious. Man, that was a good video. Shout out to Fuba Sports. I believe that's who made it. I'll put the original video in the comment or in the description. So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. You know, God bless you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. And also, I have a Bill Russell documentary coming soon. But I'm just trying to fix the algorithm for me on YouTube because, yeah, I'm not getting promoted anymore, which kind of sucks, but whatever.